Well, I think first we should say which countries are leading this transformation. And I think this report comes at a time when I really believe, in the words of a recent Jeffries analyst at our New Approaches meeting, when he said that he truly believes the tide has turned in favor of tobacco harm reduction across the entire sector. And then if the investment community is now getting behind it, we've got to recognize that the consumers are way out front. 140 million people are already using these products. And what have we seen? Well, we've seen that snus and nicotine pouches have played a massive role in reducing the smoking rates across Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Iceland. We've seen that vapes have played a very big role over the last few years, particularly in the US, the UK, New Zealand. And heated tobacco products have cut adult consumption, particularly among men, by 50% in places like Japan, South Korea, Greece, Lithuania. We often don't think of those countries as places where we see progress, but they are happening. And then even in the low middle income countries, we're starting to see the glimmers of hope, where we're seeing that nicotine pouches seem to be driving down toxic forms of oral tobacco in Pakistan, a very significant development if this actually unfolds. If you ask the question, where else are we seeing regional support? Well, I think the Middle East has been fascinating. Not only are we seeing local innovation, local companies, particularly in the nicotine pouch and vape area, starting to grow, supported by governments in Saudi Arabia, for example, or by local private sector in the UAE. We've seen reversal of bans that were previously in effect in Egypt, Lebanon. Jordan is still hopefully to follow. And even in Indonesia, we're starting to see serious glimmers of hope. If you put this together, it basically means that not only has the tide turned from the perspective of the investor, but the tide has turned from the perspective of many of the leading governments, some of the largest in the world, including China, Indonesia, and other places, where clearly they have not opted to ban or prohibit products. They've opted to regulate a normalized market, which is what I think makes complete sense. And that does mean that it's inevitable that we're going to see the expansion of tobacco harm reduction, despite the rhetoric that we still have coming out of WHO and the European Commission.